Hi everyone. Okay, so I'm gonna go over some basics of squat form, and I've gone over this before with many of you, but I feel like it's always helpful to do a review. And I'm also not gonna cover barbells today. If you need information on barbells, I've made videos before, so I will just send you those. So let me know if you need that. So we're just gonna start, like I said, with the basics, and that's our feet. So we're gonna think of a tripod foot. So the ball of your big toe, ball of your little toe, and the center of your heel. And you're gonna stand, generally speaking, some of us might need to stand wider than others, with the inside of your heel lined up with your armpit. Now, like I said, that depends on your leverages, meaning like how long your different limbs are, such as your upper thighs, things like that. So once you do that, you're standing in that position, you're gonna ground down through those 3 points of your feet. So you're almost thinking, I kick my shoes off, almost thinking of turning that foot open. I always picture like a screw, so screwing it into the floor. But we don't want our toes to curl under, so that's why we're thinking about just the ball of our feet instead of the toes grabbing onto the floor. And then from there, you're gonna squeeze your glutes, pull that pelvis to the rib cage to create a nice neutral spine. So my normal stance would be a little bit like this. I tend to have a little bit of an anterior tilt with my pelvis. So this is an anterior tilt. This is a posterior tilt. And from here, if I think about pulling my pelvis to my rib cage, or about thinking about pulling my pubic bone to my diaphragm, that's gonna help create a nice neutral spine. And then you can even put your palm on your stomach and the back of your hand on your back, or just holding your hands here. Then from here, we're gonna hinge at the hips. And when you hinge, you're not gonna swivel your hips back. So we don't wanna see an arch in your back. We want your chest to come with you. Everything's together, pushing your glutes back, coming back up. So if you ever have seen those two Dutch kissing dolls, that's basically that are leaning forward like this. That's what we're trying to do. Now again, we're not trying to swivel the hips back like this. We don't wanna see that, so you're not going like this as you, a lot of people try to leave their chest behind and keep it up. We want to keep it together. So a slight hinge with your chest coming forward, and then we'll go with a knee bend. I have a feeling this is a little dark, so I'm just going to pause this for a second and turn some lights on. Okay, we'll see if that helps. My lighting options are not the best right now, so hopefully someday I'll have better lighting for this. So again, hinging at the hips and then bending the knees. We're going to start off doing this to a bench or a chair, just for the sake of showing you, for the sake of showing you how to do that. So you're gonna hinge at the hips, bend your knees, and come down. Now the difference is, I'm gonna show you the wrong way. If you went with your knees first, here's what would happen. See, I'm coming forward, I'm trying to keep my chest up too much, and that's gonna create a lot of pressure, specifically right on that, that spot below your knee, below your patella, your kneecap, and that's where a lot of people can have knee pain that gets aggravated. Also comes from other things, but that's a whole different video. So once again, we're gonna ground down through the 3 corners of our feet, squeezing our glutes because that's gonna help us keep our knees open, and then pulling the pelvis to the rib cage, chin is back. Then we're gonna hinge, everything coming together, your spine moving as one unit, and sit. There's a lot of different ways to explain this, so if this still doesn't make sense to you, let me know. So I'm just gonna show you really quick what that looks like with your feet. So as I screw my feet into the floor, you may or may not be able to tell my knees open up. It's pretty minuscule, but if you're doing it along with me, you'll feel that. And then when you squeeze your glutes, they're gonna open up even more. So what that's gonna allow me to do is keep control over my knees. So I'm keeping them nice and open here. You don't see them caving in, just like that. Versus if you don't keep that control and you're not squeezing your glutes, you're not grounding down through your feet, your knees are gonna wanna come in, you're gonna feel that plop on the chair. So you wanna make sure if you're plopping like this, then that means you're not keeping your glutes squeezed. So one more time through, grounding down through your feet, squeezing your glutes, pulling your pelvis or your pubic bone to your diaphragm, tucking your chin back, hinging at the hips, and then knees. Coming back up, and make sure when you're coming back up, you're not shoving forward as you come up. So you're gonna hinge on the way down, then knees, And then you're gonna stay hinged and then coming back up. So we're locking our knees and our hips out in a full stance, full extension at the same time. Okay, so hopefully that helps for this week. Let me know if you have any other questions.